Chicago. Ask someone to picture the city, and they will have trouble coming up with a concise description. When people think of New York City, they think of skyscrapers, subways, and muggers. When they think of Los Angeles, they think of sun, smog, and traffic. When they think of Detroit, they think of cars, factories, and decay. But for those of us that know, there's only one thing we think of when someone mentions Chicago: vampires. And tonight, we tell their story. Good evening and welcome to McStabber Studios' Windy City After Dark. I am the storyteller, Shaggy McStabber.
And I am Mama McStabber, and I was muted, and I'll be playing Jacqueline Duran of Clan Venture.
Hi, I'm Mischievous Red, and I'll be playing Isabella Caputo of Clan Toreador.
I am very sorry and very penitent, and it means I am the Ivy Raven, and I play Genevieve Sheds of Clan Gangrel.
I'm Urian. I'm playing Roscoe Akers, Clan Tremere.
I'm Timber Brad 411, and I'll be playing Nicholas Bowens of Clan Hikata.
And it's obviously we got a whole cast of jokers here tonight, but it's okay. We had a fun episode last time, I guess, in some ways.
I love this crew for cheering me up because Mama had a rough day at work.
I mean, last episode, it was a little bit lighter in tone. Jackie and Roscoe met with Arden Canty, and he kind of pointed them at one of Urzule's establishments. Isabella and Izzy started plotting, and Jenny took a trip on the dead side, maybe, I guess you could say, and had a night with Corie. And, of course, the coterie got together and discussed recent events, and then checked on the Painted Lady's place, spoke with Urzule, and we ended with the girls, which now apparently includes Roscoe. He's an honorary member of the girls, getting tore up on the Urzule special. As we open up tonight, it's a few days later. Isabella, where are you at the moment?
I'm probably actually at the Goth Club. Doing some prep there.
Prepping it for opening. Yeah, because you open it late. It's a goth club. You don't want to open a goth club early. That just doesn't work. It's only open after dark in the first place. True goths don't go out in the sunlight. You're in the back room, double checking the orders that came in. It was a liquor restock day, of course. As you're working through it, a voice whispers to you. Hello, Izzy.
Why, hello there.
I've brought you a gift.
I hope it's the good kind.
Well, from whose perspective?
Mine, of course.
Oh, then it is a good gift. I would introduce you to my friend, but even if you could see him, he wouldn't do any good. You won't remember much about him.
Isabella does have Oblivion Sight now. So the temptation's real.
Go ahead if you wish to turn it on.
Yeah, she'll do it.
And Izzy is standing before you. It's an older man, by older, 60s or 70s. Got a beard on him. He's just standing beside her. And he looks over and he says something that you can tell he's talking, but you can't hear it because he's not using a power that lets you hear. And Izzy nods her head a bit. He's brought you something that might help you. You're going to have to trust me on this one. And relax a bit. It's going to be a little disconcerting to you. You might want to sit down even.
Do I need something to make this bearable?
A seat.
Other than that, though? I mean, like,
No.
substance-wise? Okay.
No, he assures me it's painless. Just odd.
I'll trust you, but you know what happens if you betray that.
Oh, why would I do that? We are working towards the same goal, are we not?
You tell me?
For now.
Exactly.
So you have a seat somewhere. When you sit down, the man walks over close to you. He doesn't touch you, but he leans real close and seems to be staring into your eyes. And all of a sudden, you're not you. You are in another place. You are actually another person. It's like you're standing there. It is the day you met Nicholas. But it's not you. You realize you are experiencing the day Matthew met Nicholas. From the point of view of Matthew. And it is very disorienting because you're experiencing it as if you were there firsthand. As these memories flood through. It's an odd feeling because you can still feel your body. You still know you're in the seat. But it's like the most vivid dream you could ever imagine as it crashes into you.
Is she able to, like, do anything or just sit and watch?
All you can do is watch as it flows through you, and you're not sure how long you experienced this before. It's like any other memory. It's in the back of your head. It's a memory you can remember, but you're not flashing through it. You can just think on it and pick out details, much like any memory in your brain.
It is possible to still, like, recognize that it's not her memory, though.
Yes.
That it's a
Yes.
memory of someone else. Okay.
Because
Just wanted to make
it's
sure.
the memory is so foreign to what your normal memories would be, your normal thought processes. And the old man looks at Izzy, just nods his head, and you see him in turn and walk off. I'd say it's a Christmas present, but I think we're a bit late for that.
I mean, it's the gift that keeps on giving for us in this situation.
There will be more in the future. There's a limit to how much he can gather at once and how much he can transfer at once.
Should be very helpful in convincing Nick.
That is the idea, I think. Please don't be worried that you can't remember what he looks like. And you now realize that the man you just saw that you knew you could remember a second ago, all you can picture in your head is just a vague blob. You know somebody was there, but can't pick out any details about the individual at all. He has that effect with people.
I'll be honest. I gave up questioning what you all can do after I met Nick. It's enough details.
In his, I call it line of work, but it's not really work. It's what he is. It helps to not be remembered after the fact.
As long as it doesn't eat holes in my memory.
No,
fine.
that's a different thing. You're kinder amateurs. It's not really eating a hole. He can lock memories away. Think of it as a vault that you store something in. A lot of times there's just a simple key that'll open it and bring them all back. But until you use the key, it stays closed.
Good to know.
Well, I must be going. I had very limited time to be allowed out tonight.
Well, it was a joy to spend it with you.
The real joy will be in the future.
Oh, yes. Must be patient, though.
Patience is one virtue you'll find the restless dead have.
Time will do that.
Livian always wins. We can afford to be patient. And she turns and she fades from your view all of a sudden. 1 second she's there, and she takes a step, and then she's not there. You clearly saw her take a step, but wherever her foot landed was not there. And as at this point, Isabella is processing these new memories, we flash over to Jackie and Roscoe, who are at a church. Because that is where Arden wished to meet them. His church.
See, I've been here before.
I take it this is where he does business.
Yes.
And other things, I'm sure.
And other things.
As you step into the place, it's not empty tonight. There's a congregation there. And he is preaching a very odd sermon tonight. An odd sermon, or sermon about not all curses as written in the Bible are a curse. Some are a blessing that were just misunderstood by humanity. And as you're standing in the back, a man, early 30s, comes up to you. He's also wearing a collar, so he's obviously a priest. Father Canty will see you as soon as he's done his sermon, if you'll follow me.
All right. And we do.
And he takes you back into a back room. Then he leads you down a set of stairs into a large room that appears to be the antechamber to crypts under the church.
Definitely has an ambience.
If you will wait here,
Of course.
I don't advise you leave the room
All right.
for safety. You
Understood.
understand.
Understood.
And he heads back up, and as you're standing in this antechamber, It is empty. It's stone. It's well cared for, though. There's no dust on the floor. There is no, cobwebs in the corner. There is 2 doors that lead off it. Heavy, old doors. But he's done a lot of effort. It's not as damp as you would expect it, given as you're not that far from the lake. But it seems to be kept rather dry. Anything you'd like to do before he shows up?
Is there anything in the room that's anything of interest that we can
Not that you see.
Nothing at all.
Not that you can see. I mean, it's stone floor. It's flag. You can see the interlocking flagstones. The walls appear to be made of blocks of some kind.
Does it appear old?
Oh, yes. The blocks do not appear to be machine cut. You can see chisel marks on them.
Jackie's going to go to touch one of the blocks.
It is, it's a square block. It's maybe granite, but it's hand chiseled. You can feel the chisel marks in it.
This is hand done. This is old.
Mm-hmm.
Colonial, maybe?
I can't really tell.
I
mean, I suppose if I touched it, I could, but...
That's a little rude in somebody's place without permission.
It is.
But it's very good handiwork.
I'm rolling something real quick. So y'all can talk if you wish to talk. Otherwise, you can wait for me to roll.
Oh, no, there's not much to say in someone else's place.
Right. And who knows who or what is listening.
Exactly. I'll just make commentary on the fucking construction.
Roscoe, as you're walking around, you do catch out of the corner of your eye blood sorcery. A lot of it.
What do I see?
Your guess is wards.
Okay.
You have no idea. And you can roll intelligence occult if you wish to try to make a guess.
Okay.
But it is definitely, it appears to be wards by the way they're placed.
I'm not going to willpower that.
Knowing you're looking for it at the corner of your eye, first of all, you should be able to, now that you know you're looking for it, look at him dead ahead,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't see him. You also realize something is off with your sight. It's fading in ways it shouldn't right now. Something is...
So my directed focus on something is not seeing anything, but just out of the corner peripheral vision is showing me.
And only sometimes. Something is messing with your ability to view the unseen things in the room.
Well, what if I sense the unseen?
You're going to try to do it? Go ahead.
Okay.
Roll your resolve all specs. Got to do it the other way, Roscoe.
Oh, okay.
Check the aspects and then drag the resolve die, not plus the resolve die. I can see what he's about to roll before he rolls it. We'll see what he gets here. This will be interesting to see. 7 with a crit.
Woo!
Now I got to roll something in response to that. You try. Something is blocking your ability to see it. Now it's not even seen out of the corner of your eye.
Something is actively trying to.
Something is playing with auspex in an odd way. It's not even like in your club that prevents it from crossing the barrier of the club. Something is suppressing it in this whole area.
I hear the hmms and the very interestings.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you fucking with now, Roscoe?
I'm trying to look and see what I can see on the how he's
He is a
protected this
master
place.
of warding.
He is.
I know. Your curiosity is going to get you bit.
Oh, I'm not doing anything active to press any buttons.
Oh, tell me what happened when you tried to take a look.
Well, I was able to see out of the corner of my eye the blood sorcery at work, but I can't see it looking directly at it. There's something actively blocking someone seeing it.
Yes, so now it's actively working against you.
Yes, and now even out of the corner of my eye, I can't see it.
See? Your curiosity is going to lead you to eventually getting bit.
Jackie, looking around now, you notice there is a very subtle, you were touching stones. The carvings, the hand chisel marks appear, there's something above one of the doorways.
Like an etching?
No, a smooth spot that doesn't match the carvings.
Very interesting.
It's above both doorways and the door, the stairwell down, the opening above the door or above the stairs. It's a perfectly smooth square spot.
Yes, I'm not going to touch that.
Okay.
Because Jackie knows which buttons to press, which to hit, and which to just walk away from.
You're down there about 20 minutes before Arden steps down. You said you wished to meet with me.
Yes, thank you so much for making time for us. Have an update on our deal. After looking into who owns the property and the history of the property, I actually was led down another rabbit hole, as it were, and found someone that you might be interested in. And she sends over a folder to him, and inside he will find a photograph of the painted lady, business, with a dossier of its information, and a sticky note stapled to it that has Edith's name on it.
He scans through it briefly and closes it. And why do you think she would be more important than the business I asked you to target?
She is a fanatical Bahari.
I've heard rumors of those. Heard rumors of them operating in Chicago. I wasn't sure.
Well, now you are. I was witness to her luring a man inside to torture him.
So that gives me the information. So I will accept a deal. What are you going to do to her business? The deal was for you to target a business for me. You have given me information. I do thank you. What?
I can tell you, if you are subtle, you might be able to do something. She does have influence in the Old Town Police Precinct. And she uses rats to watch the perimeter.
I will conclude our deal with one thing I would like you to do.
What is it?
In a few days, I will give you a symbol that I wish you to write on her wall in blood. Anywhere on the building. It doesn't matter where.
All right.
One symbol.
All right.
Any particulars like size? What kind of
Well,
blood?
you'll recreate the symbol as it's shown to you when I have it delivered.
I'm sure I can utilize someone to get that done.
Any specific blood required?
No, just blood. It will be used to disrupt her animal friends a bit. Modification of what is on, well, your club, actually.
Excellent.
Can't get the whole place worded, but I can do something else.
I'll be happy to see that done.
Perfect. Then we'll have a deal.
Excellent. Once it is done, I will send a missive.
Good. And then I will honor my end of the deal.
Excellent. The security room is ready already. The 15th floor has the suite that I wish has been vacated, of course, and the penthouse will be vacant at your need.
Good. And then I will speak to you in a few days.
Excellent. Thank you.
And allow me to walk you out.
Mm-hmm.
And as he steps back out and takes you up the stairs, as he's walking through the church, he keeps having to stop as he's walking you out, as congregation members come to him.
Mm-hmm.
He seems real popular with his congregation, even though what he was preaching is odd.
Jackie's going to take a quick count as she walks through.
When you came in, he had easily 50 people in there. There seems to be at least 20 still hanging around after the sermon. And he walks you to the door. You have a good evening. We will be in contact with that matter we discussed. Now I must go and tend to my flock.
Of course. Have a lovely evening.
You as well.
And they get in their vehicle.
And I will let you all have a scene. As you're riding back, though, to the city, Jackie, a text comes over your sat phone.
Mm-hmm.
Etienne, because Peter's driving tonight, Etienne was arranging that other meeting.
Yes.
Make sure.
Yes.
He says it's midnight at the Ashland MTA station.
Excellent.
Or CTA, technically, but yes.
She actually forwards that text to everyone.
And then a text comes in after it. He says, come in one vehicle.
And Jackie just responds, no shit. And says, meet up at my place at your convenience. I'll be there in about 40.
And now I turn it over to Roscoe and Jackie if they wish to have a discussion as they're riding back.
So I counted about 50 listening to the sermon, but after the sermon was over, there was approximately 20, 25 that were really
Looking for further instruction?
or enthralled or fanatical, that kind of thing. True adherence, as it were,
Mm-hmm.
seeking the approval of the one in charge. Good to know. Good to know numbers. I will have to speak to my Peter to see where our numbers stand, just in case. Don't intend to go to war with the Church of Cain, but just in case he gets froggy.
He doesn't represent not a threat, but an obstacle to your goals.
Not necessarily. He's so far removed, I don't think he's really got much interest in Milwaukee at all. He was interested in Azuli's place because it used to be one of his Sabbat hangouts. He's trying to find a place to hide in the city. Because the city gives him access to potentially more adherents.
Mm-hmm. Right.
He's trying to expand.
Well, that's what they do.
I know. It's the way of all cults, really. But yes, Forgive me, I'm not a loyal adherent in mine. I use it to my advantage.
Mhm.
I know what it is. I know who Mithras is and what he is, and I don't believe he's a god. Yes, he is powerful. Yes, he is ancient, but he is not a god. And honestly, it is nice having truly an army at your beck and call when you need it.
Mhm.
Because my cult that I'm part of is very much a militaristic organization. So, Jess, I will have to talk to the leader in this area and let him know what the Church of Cain is doing. But of course, that's nothing compared to what Azule has in her place.
True.
Jesus, she has such the flock, as it were. And she's smart about it. I'll give her that. Take in the downtrodden.
Right.
Very good for her. Smart. So yes, I noticed that there were like smooth blocks above all the doors in that
Mhm.
room, but I wasn't going to touch them because unlike you, Roscoe, my curiosity is not going to get me bit.
There are limits to button pushing.
My limits are obviously before yours, but
Yeah.
but truly, very fascinating work that Arden
Mhm.
does.
He does. Yeah, it is. He does excellent work. And of course, I have to look into what it was that was working on the words that were in his place.
You should probably play around with it a bit, try to test some experiments out. I fully
Mhm.
believe you are capable, Roscoe, if you put your mind to it. You have the
Possible.
drive. You have the desire to learn. You just need to
Well,
dedicate yourself.
well, let's see if we have good places to use them in Milwaukee.
Yeah. So I got an address to meet up with the gentleman, the Tremere, that runs the Cinder Institute.
Okay.
Want to put that to bed.
Right.
I don't give a shit about the Cinder Institute. I just want them not fucking around in Milwaukee.
Right. Well, we can impress him. That
And if
that
I
on him.
can't, then I will send someone after him. But yeah, that's my goal for this is I don't give a shit what he does in Indianapolis or Takesha. I don't
Mhm.
care. Go get his rocks off with it for all I care. But I want him out of Milwaukee.
Yeah. Good idea.
So, and I figure it's good to bring everybody.
Mm-hmm. Strength in numbers.
Exactly. Still no word from Samantha.
Not a peep. I imagine wherever she is right now is keeping her pretty busy.
I can't. How can I mean? Yes, she's a mage, but she's still human.
Mm-hmm.
How can she survive that long?
Maybe Corie made special adapted it just so that it would keep her alive, not necessarily in the best of comfort.
I don't know. I'm less likely to think she'll come back nuclear to thinking she'll come back completely broken from trauma.
That's a good possibility.
Jesus, that's even scarier if she gets triggered by something. Well, we are here. Let's await the others so we can all head over together.
And we're just going to skip the arriving one at a time as everyone meets at Jackie's club. For you, Isabella, though, suddenly being in the same room with Nicholas, and you get that sense of deja vu because of those new memories that kind of hit you. You can still sort whose is whose, but It's odd seeing a much more human-looking Nicholas when you see him on top of what you know now. I'll turn it over to you all. I assume you all gather and hop in the vehicle and you can have a talk in the ride.
Yep. So, at some point, I'm going to need, and it doesn't have to be one of us per se, but I'm going to need someone capable of painting something on the Painted Ladies building.
What do you need?
It's going to be a symbol that I get from Arden that is going to disrupt the rats around her building that surveil it. Similar to the ward we have on our club that repels certain creatures.
Yeah, we should have asked if we could draw the symbol using a stencil and some spray paint blood, just to make it a quick in and out.
I think it might take as much time setting up the stencil as it would to just do it freehand.
Exactly. So but my worry is about being seen.
Mm-hmm.
I may find some graffiti artist and just dominate them to do it.
You can do that. Or if you want, I can change space and do it, potentially. I mean, I'd much rather you hire someone, but I could if this is easier.
Oh, Isabella, I completely didn't think about that.
Comes in handy.
I know.
Just say who.
Okay. Yes, and when you leave, you'd have to go somewhere crowded so you could go and change face.
I mean, you're all completely disregarding the skills of one invisible owl that you all know, but that's fine.
Well, I first thought of you, Jenny. I'll be honest.
Hey, it's cool. No hard feelings.
But
you can do it if you want, Jenny. I don't mind.
Shit. You know, you're the Toreador. You got that artistic streak, so
her aunt is making wine.
Some skills are transferable. Who do you think made the labels?
They are beautiful labels, darling. But
look,
if you don't want to do it personally, because I really worry about the risk of personally being spotted. I really don't want Edith having us on her radar. No offense, I'm sure your sister is a problem, Jenny, but Edith is a monster and a half. And the last thing I need is that bitch from fucking Resurrection Cemetery breathing down my neck.
Oh, dominate somebody and send them up there. Perfectly fine by me. I was just saying, like, if people want,
I'm just very
whatever.
concerned. Like, I would be concerned that I don't know. Like, I don't know what her rats are capable of. I don't know who is feeding them, per se. I don't know if they have abilities to see through your talents or to even be able to recognize certain scents, you know? So that's why I worry about any of us physically being there.
Yeah, definitely send one of the dominate and send one of the kind.
Yeah.
They're expendable.
And they can do it during the day, where she's less active, less likely to be roused. She may have ghouls, but you know what? What are they going to do? It's just a dominated kind that doesn't realize why they're even doing it.
I wasn't sure if you wanted to frame someone, but I'm okay with that.
As much as fun as that would be, I don't think so. But can we possibly aerosolize blood into a spray can?
You would have to use something so the blood doesn't coagulate. And theoretically, it's possible.
Roscoe, you are the expert in blood sorcery. Does anticoagulated blood impact the quality of a ritual or a ward?
Mm. It really depends on exactly what's going on. Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
It's not trying to summon dead things. It's not trying to repel, truly. But it is trying to repel living creatures, though. It probably has to be actual blood, not anticoagulated. Shit. Okay, we'll just have to put some in a paint bucket.
I
Or just have-
definitely vote for disposable and unconnected.
Yes,
Yes, exactly.
because then there's no trace back to us whatsoever.
Exactly.
And they-
I prefer them not to be. I will have to talk to my police contact to find someone that will fit what I prefer to use. Because what I prefer to use in situations where they may become lunch is that someone has a very unpleasant past.
Or worst case, cut off a finger or two and then just make them paint it with their own blood before they die.
I don't think I could be capable of that yet.
And you've become so gruesome.
What did you say?
You've become so gruesome. It's a pretty big, well, torture-y, even for the revenge artist. Cut off someone's fingers.
At that, I feel like Nicholas just goes silent and is just kind of like occasionally looking at Isabella, but almost sort of like looking through Isabella, like he's contemplating something.
Okay.
I'll see what my contact has to say and what he has available that he knows of. Hell, I'd perfectly be fine with a cop that's got, that's seriously badly corrupted. I mean, shit. But okay. So needless to say, I persuaded Arden to go after Edith instead of Azule's place. But that
Is it
is
a hard sell?
not really. Once I informed him of the intelligence I had gathered on Edith's place, that she has ties to that local precinct and that she also has rats surveilling her perimeter. He just wants us to ensure that a symbol gets painted on the building. It doesn't matter where. To disturb the rats so that he can do his thing. I advised him to be subtle. But knowing him, he probably won't be. From what I can tell, because there's not really a subtle bone in the man's body. But, I can say, hey, I warned him.
Yeah, I mean, painting a giant occult symbol on someone's wall isn't exactly my definition of subtle.
Exactly. But no, I am not going to go and paint. I'm not going to ask someone that I'm fond of to go and paint. I am going to ensure that it is someone completely expendable because I don't expect they will leave the place.
Well, you guys remember, when all you can do is paint wards with blood, every wall that doesn't have a ward is in need of a ward. So that's, of course, the way he's going to look at this problem.
Exactly. So any other visitations from Corie, Jenny?
No.
I'm not going to ever let that one go.
It's fine. It's fine. You know, it's just par for Chicago. So it's the way I look at it. I'm just like, it's Chicago. Yeah.
On par for Chicago. This is the wildest thing you've ever done.
It's on par for Chicago. Because everything that happens in Chicago is weird, wild, or bullshit. Or a combination of those three. So, yeah.
I would be especially careful with extracurricular time with her.
Uh-oh. But Samantha's going to come back all fucked up, Roscoe.
Do you care to elaborate?
In my recent absence, I did some family genealogy research. It seems she likes to take notice of someone once she fancies them and ferries them across the river Styx to the underworld. Sometimes they return, sometimes they don't. But it definitely starts with infatuation.
How exactly? I mean, maybe I'm missing something, but the extracurriculars Ginny was doing equal traveling to the river Styx. Seems like
No,
they.
What he's saying is she becomes infatuated. Basically, when she wakes from her torpor or returns from the underworld, whatever she's been doing, she becomes infatuated with someone and takes them back with her.
Cool.
exactly.
Fantastic news. Great. Just what I needed to hear. The only upside I'm hearing here is that at least it's not fucking Chicago.
I will say that is interesting. I got some information back from Juliet, the Malkavian Justica, Juliet Pa, because I requested some on her. And she said that, honestly, they don't know a lot, tower-wise. They don't know a lot about Corie, but they do know that she was one of the advisors to the Ventru in Rome and helped plan the destruction of Carthage.
She is old.
Yeah. Well, I knew that. She's basically, throughout history, known as a goddess. So yes, she's ancient. That she also, what was noted in the report that I got was that she seems to spend a lot of time in torpor, sleeping, and only appears for a few years every century. But if she's not spending all that time in torpor, she might be spending them with her new infatuation in the underworld.
And it seems if you are fortunate enough to return, let's just say there aren't many stories from those who return about what was done on the other side, either from inability to remember or inability to lack of desire to share.
Fascinating. It is so hard for me at times to wrap my mind around the motivations of ancient kindred. I mean, some are very base. Like you look at Helena and Menelaus, and it is literally vengeance, revenge, hatred. bruised egos. All the way through. It's fairly simplistic. It is a king and a queen that could not get along, hated each other, and have fought each other for eons. But then you have someone like Corie. Just fascinating. I mean, even Mithras has... He is... There were times in my early years that I actually was in his presence. And he is commanding. Of course, he is ancient Ventru. He is... Even though he is commanding and stern, he has a passion to him. But he wishes for others to recognize him as ruler. That's what drives him. And he understood that the best way to rule is to create a cult. Make your own army. And that's exactly what he did. But Corie is different. It's like her drive is novelty. Fascinating.
We also are operating on limited information.
We are, but she is so... The interactions I've had with her, she is flippant. She is coy. She is... Honestly, I can tell there is a interest in her to see what we young kindred are doing now. It is a curiosity. While she may not see us as much more than babies to her, she is still curious.
Some might also argue the cat being...
That's what I was thinking too. Playing with its food.
Indeed.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking too. That I'm sure I'm not going to say it's innocent. It's not. There's no innocence in her. But I think she likes novelty. New things.
It definitely seems...
She comes out every century.
Well,
to see what the new thing is.
Now, granted, with somebody as ancient as her, just about everybody we've run into counts as young.
Exactly.
But it's definitely the feeling that I've gotten from what I've been able to gather is there's the infatuation is with someone younger.
Yes, because they're new. It's the novelty.
So much changes in 100 years.
It's a new experience for her, and she wants to revel in it. I find it absolutely fascinating. But it also makes me wonder if she really doesn't sleep that long.
I mean, it's also a question of what exactly is sleep for her with her connection with the underworld.
Exactly.
She's just merely asleep on this plane, so to speak, and awake on others.
Or she might physically go to the other side.
Exactly.
And I'm sure she has worked out arrangements that she's very well protected on the other side. I mean, her myth is the queen of the underworld. You don't get that kind of reputation if you're a pushover.
And she has had time to perfect the myth.
Exactly, and cultivate it. She besmirches others for creating cults. Meanwhile, she has created a mythology about her.
But she doesn't seem focused on collecting quantity, more quality.
It's more quality driven for her. I agree. It seems definitely more quality driven for her. She wants the quality of the experiences. I mean, I imagine eternity would be very boring after a while, no matter which side you were on.
But don't worry, Jenny. If you are the apple of her eye, I'm sure the spirit version of Chicago is so much more interesting.
Oh, that's so. Nicholas, comments like that are why I really don't know why I hold myself back from just punching you in the fucking mouth.
One thing, Jenny, I don't think you have to worry about. I do not think she would force you to go. And the reason I say that is I actually point blank asked her when she came to my place, I believe, or it might have been at the library, I can't remember. But I asked her, did he steal you or did you go of your own accord? And she said yes and yes. So yes, he stole her, but she wanted to be stolen.
I bet she does offer a pretty appetizing deal, though, for going.
I'm certain she does. But it ultimately will be your choice if you want to or not. I think she is very much about giving choice. When she asked if we would align with her, it was asking for us to make a choice. It wasn't the threat that Helena gave me. Because Helena gave me a fucking threat. That bitch.
We'll see what happens.
Don't stress it, darling. I'm sure it'll be fine.
I just mean, like, also it's difficult to sit around and just be like, what are the ancient ones thinking?
No, I get it, because we're not there.
We don't know.
We don't know. But I really think, based on the patterns of how I've asked certain questions of her and how she has answered, it seems to me that in everything that the stories tell that she didn't have a choice in, she had a choice in. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I asked certain questions that I did of her. And because I was trying to determine who she was at her core, And it seems to me that willingness is important to her.
I mean, she spends all of it. Sorry, she spends all of her time on the other side. If I don't know, are the dead as Nicholas? This is probably a question for Nicholas here. Are the dead as stagnant as we are in a sense? Because if they are, then maybe she just if your guys' theory that she's looking for experiences is the experiences in like the whatever is true, then I mean the dead can't give her that, I'm assuming. So, or she's seen it, done it, whatever,
I think that may be the case. She's seen it, done it. She probably sees new spirits come through every now and then. She's like, oh, that's different. Let me go check it out.
I don't know. I mean, I'll chew it over. We'll see.
My point wasn't to dissuade or scare. It was just meant as be careful.
You got to work on your delivery then, because your ass disappears for like weeks at a time, and then you show back up and you're like, oh, BT dubs, crazy hot chick with the spirit dress that does things. She'll just be like, hey, guess what? Let's go on a vacay. You may not come back. Like you gotta work on your delivery. You gotta spice it up a little bit, and instead of just, yes, the Chicago dead side is just as bland as this side, or whatever the fuck. God damn it.
Oh no, I'm sure the spirit side is much less pleasant.
Damn, that's selling it.
There is no place more unpleasant than here and now in this fucking car in Chicago, because the 7 layers of hell, one of them is this fucking car ride right now.
God damn.
Dante didn't mention it because he didn't want to spook everybody too bad. Like, yeah, I've read it. I'm slightly educated, not really. But you know what? That's besides the point. The point is that fuck Chicago in this life or the next.
Isabella will like look to Roscoe and be like, this escalated very quickly.
It really did.
Jackie's just dying.
How do you
And
want
Nicholas is sitting there like completely deadpan, like it just
how do you want me to respond to this? I make one slightly questionable decision in Chicago for the first time I've been here.
Jenny,
in like,
that decision was fucking brilliant. You are going to have a story for the fucking ages, okay?
Yeah.
How many people can say they had sex with a Methuselah?
fucking Methuselah. Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Probably only a handful.
Oh, you guys are like, oh, but only a handful. The handful that remembers, like according to Nicholas, it's just like she takes you there, and then you come back. You stumble out, and you're in a haze.
See
you
her
don't.
as the personality type that if you don't want to go with her when she's ready to leave, then guess what? She's not going to hold a grudge about it.
Oh,
that's fucking brilliant.
No, see, here's the thing. I don't think she has to hold a grudge. She doesn't have to hold you there against your will. Her clothes will hold you there against your will.
What?
Okay,
that is kinky
I
as
resent
fuck.
that.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that's not all bad, but okay. Look, for how long you've known me. I dare not
mention it to Dredd when I saw him, last night.
For how long?
I think he might have turned 10 shades of pink. Okay.
Nicholas, you missed it. You still have to try the Urzuli special.
You really should.
You're the only one.
Yeah.
With all of you chuckling, I think I may pass.
No,
It was a good time. That's why we're laughing.
Yeah, it really was.
The only upside is you won't be stuck at home playing pocket pool like Roscoe was, because his girlfriend wasn't there. Oh, come on, Roscoe. You can admit it.
She still hasn't returned, huh?
No, not yet.
Maybe she likes it there. If this is all about choices.
You never know. I mean, maybe she does. I mean, she does like the fireball and fire, and probably a lot of that. I
am actually growing based on how long it's been, because as I discussed this with Roscoe a little earlier this evening when we went to meet with Arden. I'm very concerned. I mean, if she was gone just a short time, sure, she'd come back pissed off and about going nuclear, right? Well, though she's a mage, she is not immortal.
No, and it probably feels like she's been there for maybe thousands of years at this point.
She is likely to come back broken and traumatized.
Time, as I understand it, moves differently.
And
on the other side,
if she,
for good or bad.
And if she does, that makes her even more dangerous. Because if she's traumatized, what will trigger her?
Could be anything.
Exactly.
Wasn't that already the case?
Well, it's been blunted slightly with the
The bond.
bond she's had. But
And if
yes.
time is differently there than it is here, what's to say the bond hasn't broken?
Yes, exactly.
You'd probably be willing to re-up, let's be honest.
Maybe. I do hope she returns soon so we can try to mitigate whatever damage may happen.
Or at least give us enough time to avoid ground zero.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I've already warned Roscoe that if she comes back fucking nuclear to get out of blast range. But
I'm surprised y'all's first response isn't to kill her like it once was.
Oh, it's because I haven't spoken up yet.
well, the only reason I hesitate is because Franklin did express that she is an exceptionally talented mage, that he would like spared if possible.
And
She has-
apparently, if I suggest killing somebody, apparently I'm a downer, so...
No, you're fine.
Oh, you don't have to suggest anything to be a downer,
We
Nicholas.
talk about that all the time, so you're cool.
Yes, it's just we talk about it in a fun way.
It's fun.
It's all in the delivery. That's what I was talking about not even 5 minutes ago. In one ear, out the other. Is it just hollow straight through? Like, can we look from one side out the other? Just, Nicholas, turn your head real fast. Come on. Isabella, you got
Okay,
get your
get your
light
shit
out.
together. We're almost here.
As you pull up under the overpass that, leads to the station, Etienne pulls a car to the side of the road. You do notice there are a number of people milling about, some going up the stairs, some on the platform waiting.
I'm going to rouse for blush of life.
Okay. Couple dozen at a minimum.
Oh, I'm a little hungry.
But as you all are preparing to go in, actually, I think right here, we're going to have to take a break, everybody. Car ride was a great discussion, but it took a little bit longer. So rather than break the following scene up in the middle, we're going to break before the scene. So we'll see everybody in 10 minutes. Please enjoy the break, everyone.
Allow me to introduce myself, though I fear you've heard my name, and that you've heard the story of Countess Bathory. History is told by the victors, heroic warriors, and mad kings. Will you hear my story from the lips of Bathory? They call me blood-sucking demon, queen of hell, sadistic killer, a monster tale, bathing in the blood of virgins, beautiful, drinking the blood of virgins, youthful, the blood countess. Who is she really? Who is she really? Blood countess. Who is she really? Isabella Bathory. I was very wealthy and powerful, a widow with political rivals keen to destroy me and take my property. My plea was never offered, all my confessors were all tortured or how they destroyed me for my property. They put me up, shut me up, shut me up, put me up, put me up, shut me up, and told a story of a bitch called Corie. Let's sucking demon, queen of hell, sadistic killer, a monster tale, bathing in the blood of virgins, keep me beautiful, drinking the blood of virgins, keep me youthful, the blood countess. Who is she really? Who is she really? Blood countess. Who is she really? Isabella Corie. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. I've always been the hunter, nothing on my tail. But there was something in you I knew could make that change. To capture a predator, you can't remain the prey. You have to become an equal in every way. So look in the mirror and tell me, who do you see? Is it still you, or is it me? Become the beast, we don't have to hide. Do I terrify you, or do you feel alive? Do you feel the hunger? Does it howl inside? Does it terrify you, or do you feel alive? Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. So embrace the darkness. help you see that you can be limitless and fearless if you follow me. We are the lions in the words of lies. We are the predators, the hunters, the hunters, the hunters. Become the beast. We don't have to hide. Do I terrify you? Do you feel alive? Do you feel the hunger? Does it howl inside? Does it terrify you? Or do you feel alive? Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin and burrow within, and burrow within. Splinters of my soul cut through your skin to burrow within. Do you burrow within? Do you feel the hunger? Does it howl inside? Does it terrify you? Or do you feel alive?
Before the break, well, we had Izzy visited Isabella and gave her some memories, and Jackie and Roscoe went out, met the Arden Canty again, and then the Coterie spent some time in the car going over to meet with Dr. James Mortuis, who runs the Sender Institute, or his designated speaker. It's hard to tell who you're going to meet with. Where, well, a very enlightening conversation was had with Jenny there. But as we left the episode, they had just pulled up. Etienne looks over, ma'am, I'll stay with the car.
Of course.
It's public place. It should be pretty safe.
Look alive, everyone, or as close to it.
Nicholas looks exactly the same.
Jenny, just because she's going to be nice, she's going to rouse for Blush of Life. So, yeah.
I'll do what's whole.
Yeah, so far, the only one who's gotten hungrier from the blush is Jackie. And that's par for the course, isn't it?
Also, Jenny is going to do...
Oh, Roscoe did too. Roscoe, we lunch after this, okay?
Sorry. I want to do Since the Beast, like, as we're approaching, just to kind of see if I can suss out if this guy has, like, any people in the crowd, if that makes sense.
Interesting. Okay. I like that. I like where you're going with it.
Animals.
Yep.
I'm going to surge for my resolve, so I get a better roll, hopefully.
Well, you got 4 so far.
Oh, is this one of those ones where I get my power bonus?
Yes, it is. So add an extra,
Okay.
throw another die on top of that.
Sorry, I'm just gonna do the willpower first.
Yep.
I'm so used to all my stuff not having that, so I apologize. Willpower is Garbo, and then throw another die.
5 so far.
So
6.
6.
Interesting. As you're getting out of the vehicle and everyone's gathering up and you're running your power, it's a passive power that can be used actively. Kind of just getting a scan for the crowd. There's a couple dozen people here. At least there's so many hits that you're getting from Supernatural Beast, but it's a very weak beast, that at least half the crowd is kindred in some way. Now it's weak. Your guess would be at least half the crowd is thin blood.
So Jenny's just going to kind of softly say, so hopefully that everyone in the group is here, just a heads up, about half of this group ahead of us or so is potentially thin-blooded.
And Jackie just kind of mutters under her breath, so he brought an army. Cute.
So you all, anything you're doing before you head up onto the platform?
Oh, no, Jackie's got her sword cane.
Of course.
Because fuck this guy. If he wants to start shit, they're going to be shit.
So you all head up the walkway onto the covered area above it. When you get up there, a woman is staring at you all pretty hard, being very obvious about it.
Mm-hmm.
And she waits till everyone's up there, seems to be thinking and mulling something over, and then she nods and starts walking your way. I assume you're the ones he's here to meet.
Indeed.
He'll be here shortly.
Good.
Just relax a bit.
Right. Surrounded by an army.
Army, I think that's a bit harsh, don't you?
I think it's a bit accurate, don't you?
No, not an army. Insurance.
My, we have made quite the impression, haven't we?
Giving his past associations. Forgive him if he feels anytime he meets with people, it could be dangerous to him.
Must be terrible living with that level of paranoia all the time.
When you're supposed to be dead and you're not.
Yes, well, some of us have been in that state for quite a while, and we've gotten quite used to it.
I'm sure. Not at the same level, I'm sure. But he'll be here on the next train.
Excellent. And you are?
No matter. You can call me No.
I prefer no consequence. Good evening.
Suit yourself. And she goes back to leaning against one of the poles, obviously in plain view of the train that shortly starts to come. One of the green trains come through. When it stops at the station, she's in plain sight, and a man walks off the elevator, and Susie or walks off the cart. And now here's the funny thing about the subway that comes through here. Nobody from the platform gets on it. Not a one. He gets off. He's an older man, mid-40s. He's wearing a suit. He's got a golfing hat on, of all things. And as soon as the woman sees this obvious person she was waiting on, she walks away from the pillar and heads down a ways, a good 20 feet from everybody.
Before he gets too close to us, she kind of leans into Roscoe and says, "You got a good look at her, right?
Mhm.
Just in case. Our insurance."
Understood.
And nice to meet you all.
And you are Dr. Muchos.
Yes, you can call me James.
Mm.
Formalities not needed here. We're not in the boardroom. We're not negotiating.
I don't work in a
$1 million deals.
boardroom. But it is a pleasure.
You're the ones who...
Jacqueline Duran.
Hmm.
And she sticks out her hand.
He just looks at it.
Hmm.
Forgive me if I am not going to touch anyone here. I know what dangers that can bring.
I promise I would not bring you to your knees for me.
No, thank you. It goes both ways. I won't touch you, you won't touch me, and we will all be insulated in that manner.
And these are my associates.
Yes, you are the ones who blew up my building.
Allegedly.
Come now.
I didn't do that.
Yes, you were supposed to be a blood donor.
Yes, this is the gentleman that had you in stasis, darling.
Nothing personal.
Oh, I'm sure.
Business and all.
Mm-hmm.
Without her consent and all.
Well.
Yes.
Hostile takeovers happen in more than the boardroom.
I understand. And I understand you have interest in Indianapolis.
Yes. That was the target.
It isn't any longer.
No, that was the target that night that your friend here was taken. As she was secondary collateral damage in that blood donor by proxy, I guess you could say. Be careful who your friends are.
Hmm.
That's why I said it was nothing personal. She was not the target.
I was aware of that already. The reason I wish to meet with you is I want you to vacate Milwaukee.
Okay. Wow. Okay. And why would I do that?
Because it is going to be increasingly hostile to you. And your interests.
You do realize that I was kicked out of Clan Tremere. I
hear it doesn't take much for that.
This was in the days of the pyramid when they were strong. Let's say that I'm used to wherever I am is hostile.
Well, I'm doing this as a courtesy, James. You already know that we one-upped you because your retaliation was, well, let's just be fair, lackluster.
Well, you say that. But I think it got the point across because I don't recall you hitting any more of my interests after that, now did you?
That just shows how unimportant you are. But the truth is, I want you out of Milwaukee. I know you have interests in Indianapolis, and I personally don't care if you run ramshot over Indianapolis. As a matter of fact, if you need some backing for that, I can help.
I doubt the backing you would give, first of all, would be that useful to me. And secondly, would be, I don't think you could stomach the kinds of things that...
I didn't say it would be me personally, darling.
So what can you really offer me to get me to relocate?
Assistance in your takeover.
How about you give me the one that I took that night?
Why do you want her?
Leverage.
For Keisha.
Of course.
She's already on limited nights as it is.
You see, but that one is close enough associated with Keisha that she has things that she knows whether she realizes it or not.
Well, good. Then once she is no longer bound to Keisha, I'll ensure that you get that information.
I would prefer to get it myself.
No,
So we're back to what can you offer?
As
I
I
don't need
said.
assistance, as you can tell. I have
Please.
assistance.
They are fodder for cannons.
You say that. But how many of them have the memories of somebody much older than they are?
Yes, and how many of them are chased by something dark and deadly?
That is a unfortunate side effect that I hope to one day fix.
Yes, I have seen what happens to the ones that use it, personally, right in front of my own eyes.
That just happens to the ones who don't fully commit to the cause, you see.
Oh, so it is a controlled
No, it
violence.
is not a controlled thing. It is more of like there is a means to protect yourself if you earn it.
Hmm. Yes, well, it seems like the casualty rate will be very high.
Yeah. You would be amazed what the young ones will do now for a hope at being something more. So again, what can you offer?
Well, as I said, I can offer some support that is more efficient than what you have. One thing I am noted for is for my capability at efficiency. How soon do you wish to run Indianapolis?
How soon do you want me gone out of Milwaukee?
No later than 1 year.
Let's see if you and your friends have the stomach for what I wish. I want 5 kindred. I don't care who. 5 kindred. Deliver them to me. And I'll walk away.
Excellent. It can be done.
Very well. I like that deal. That is a nice little way to handle it.
As I said, I don't care what you do, as long as it's not in Milwaukee.
Oh, it won't be. Find me the kindred.
Of course.
I will give you a number you can call.
She holds out her hand.
And he pulls out a business card. It says Cinder Institute on it. Don't recognize the number.
Mhm.
Oddly enough, it's an 888 number. Toll-free number he gives you, which is strange.
Thank you. She takes the card, puts it in her bag.
So, while I'm waiting for my train, and we will all stand here until it comes, of course.
Mhm.
What is your interest in Milwaukee?
That is not your concern. You won't be residing there for long.
No, I won't. If you can deliver what I wish. Your friends are awful silent here.
Because this is my deal with you.
Oh, it is it? So, you're still not bitter over what I did? And he's looking at Isabella when he says it.
I mean, there's a reason why I'm not talking.
Yeah. I had hoped that the one I hired to handle things would have done better than he did.
Yeah, which would have resulted in my death, I'm sure. So I'm going to say I disagree
No,
with
actually, it would have resulted in the deaths of the rest of you.
That isn't likely to happen.
I guess I should have negotiated my contract with him a little better. He should have tried to kill you rather than just leave.
Yes, well, as far as I know, now he's on one of my associates' payroll.
Yeah. I'm sure. I don't hire a failure twice, you see.
No, he was quite successful at doing the job as it was outlined to him.
No. I mean, he did
It is
capture
your
her.
failure for not considering contingencies.
You know, that's the funny thing about our line of work is no matter how many contingencies you plan, There's always something that pops up. The secret that I find to any good business arrangement is an exit plan.
Of course.
Always have your exit plan. Like me, for instance. I come here to meet with you in a city where I know it's hostile and you all could easily try to take me on.
I have no desire to destroy you, James.
Well, it's public.
Of course, but even if it was private, I have no desire to destroy you. I don't agree with what you're doing, but that doesn't mean I'm going to actively work to try to prevent you from doing it, because it's like all kindred eventually do something fucking heinous. And honestly, if what you're doing brings some kind of something to someone, fuck it.
Heinous.
Yes, you are literally destroying kindred to make your drugs.
Nothing heinous about that.
Really?
I'm killing one parasite.
Then why don't you volunteer?
Because I'm trying to learn what I can.
Right, because you're not one to be considered for that. You're better.
Haven't you ever wondered about these new things they can do? Stuff that no one else can do.
Oh, quite. I'm quite fascinated by it.
So
but
if
I don't go around murdering my kind to accomplish those ends.
I am a parasite who preys on parasites. Does that make me evil? No.
No, but it makes you a bug. That should be squished. But I am not the one to do that, because you see, I figure that removal is just as good as extermination in this case, because eventually someone will get pissed off enough to take you out.
Oh, they've been trying.
And eventually one will succeed.
That Alexa woman.
Yeah, she has quite the hate boner for you, darling.
Yes, she's been irritating. I will soon take action against her.
Good luck with that.
Oh. I don't think luck factors into anything I do.
And then you might bring down a sheriff on you. Good luck with that.
And how would he get hold of me? He is not going to attack me in a place like this.
She takes out the card, I wonder.
That won't help.
No.
I would never be found.
But you can always be found, darling. It is hard to hide in these modern nights.
Yeah, the beauty is there's a secret to it. If you are always hidden in a crowd, I've found that you tower types don't really want the mess.
Sometimes. Sometimes we just eliminate the crowd and everyone and not worry about it.
Even that can be hard to clean up.
Depends on who you know.
Perhaps. Well, we have a deal.
We
You
do.
see my train coming.
Good evening, James.
Good evening to you all. You'll notice I don't need your names. I don't care for your names. And as the train pulls up, he steps on it. And no consequence, she gets on it with him. And the two of them heading west on the L out of the town.
And we turn and leave.
As you turn and leave, you notice that the crowd that was gathered all start to just wander off, leaving only about 5 or 6 people left on the platform, waiting. Well, obviously not for the green line. And you all head back to the vehicle. I will turn it over to you all as you're riding back to the club, or to the cabaret. Sorry, to the cabaret.
I swear to God, he is an insufferable little snot. God, thank God I'll be able to get him out of the city I plan to rule.
Seem to think quite highly of himself.
Of course he does. But he's going to set up shop, and he might destroy Keisha in the process. Oh, well, good riddance. But there are others that have eyes set on Indianapolis that he's going to have a hard time with. So,
Ultimately, he won't be my problem. I could give a shit less who else's he becomes.
As long as he's nowhere near me, I don't care what the fuck he does.
I appreciate your restraint during the conversation, Isabella. I know it is very upsetting what will happen to you.
It's not the worst thing that's happened lately. And she'll like kind of throw a casual glance at Nicholas.
I understand. But yes, so now we got to figure out 5 assholes to send to him. Who do we want to eliminate from the fucking area?
Problem is that, you know, people that people know in the city, I was going to say it's a whole lot easier if we just round up some anarch douche and just slap them at him.
Then let's do a trip to Gary and start rounding some up.
Works for me. I'm just saying. I know we all have that list. He said 5 kindred, and we're all like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, because I have the mental list of who's on my shit list that I can just eliminate.
we're ranking them. The problem is that any of the individuals in the city,
right, that would be noticed,
that we think are worth getting out of the way, are probably going to be too hard to get to.
Yeah,
or they would be immediately noticed, and it's one of those things like, well, who were they last with? Oh, you know, that Wicker Park coterie. Oh, fuck. Yeah.
You know what? I can get insight on where anarchs like to gather. I can get that from Dread, because Tyrus used to love to go and break them up.
Yeah, you guys have weird-ass pillow talk.
We don't talk about that in the bedroom.
Right.
There isn't much talking in the bedroom.
Sorry. Pillow grunting, talking about where the anarchs hang out.
No, but I can get that from him. So, yeah. That's a good idea, Jenny. That's a really good idea. And I can get the info to set up where we can find them.
Perfect. See, look, I'm good for like one okay idea every once in a while.
You're great at ideas. You're great at ideas.
Pish off.
Sometimes you're great at the core of an idea, and then it can be built upon, which is excellent. So, do not discredit yourself, darling. You are a contributing member of this coterie.
Oh, I'm definitely contributing.
Okay, that was dirty.
You know what? Again, this is all lessons. See, this is all lessons for Nicholas's benefit, so that he can understand. You know, like delivery is important. So he's still not going to get it, but
yeah, I know.
So I think we should round up 4 anarchs and Nicholas. Wait,
no, God, the last thing I want is fucking thin bloods going around talking to fucking ghosts.
That was a joke, Nicholas. You got to lighten up.
At least you got that going for you, Nicholas, which is nice.
I mean, we could also give them Crook. He's a fucking sellout to anyone that'll fucking pay him.
Yeah. I mean, okay. You know what? It sounds like you guys are really adamant about getting some of the kindred out of the city,
but
which is fine.
Crook is basically he's not important.
No. It's fine.
Yeah, he's not one that would really cause a stir if he went poof.
I mean, I already heard some rumors that Crook died testing out some new fireworks or something. Like
exactly, and I can start passing that around Elysia, and the next thing you know, it's just fact. Yeah, so that's at least one. So if we can get a couple of anarchs, maybe a few more, great. And then we have to making sure we have 5.
Well, did you have any plans for Sierra once you were done with her?
Yes. I do not let power go to waste.
Yeah, Roscoe, didn't you hear? Jackie's got like golden, like crazy straws. So she's got a separate list. It's the crazy straw slurps.
And the satisfaction of diablerizing Tally's child to taunt him.
That's an unlife choice.
Yes. I have plans for her.
Okay.
And I really don't want that power going to waste in fucking ash.
When you're going to do it, let me know. You can make your own ash. I'll give you a baggie of the Party Girls special mixture. And then once you're done, just get your dust buster out, mix and match, bing, bang, boom. Enjoy
Okay,
the
don't be
experience
pushing your
multiple
shit on
times.
me.
I'm not pushing anything on anybody. I'm just saying I'm offering you a party experience that Isabella here is obviously interested in. So
You guys got the formulas and stuff. Were they using the actual vitae or were they using ashes from Kindred?
Or tell her.
I don't think it said either one, but the name of the drug is fucking ash.
Because if it can use the ashes of a Kindred, then yes, I'll diablerize her and then deliver the ashes. Hell, I'll diablerize her right in front of him.
From what you were told by Tatiana and what you've gathered, it's made from the ashes of Final Death Kindred. The ashes.
Yeah. So I will definitely, that she may be on the list. So that would be 2, Crook and her, and then we need to supplement with Anox. I would personally love to take Anita, but that's not likely to happen. I would love to take Ma Davis. She's the biggest threat of all of them. But that's not likely to happen.
Well, I occasionally have reason to talk with Dave. He could probably snatch her up and
Oh my God. Can this night get any better?
You 100% just jinxed it. I want you to know.
No, it's like Christmas. Okay.
that would further the message that I've been trying to send to them to not.
I
mess
mean,
with
maybe I
Samir.
could get Andre to get got too. No, he's the child of a fucking Archon that would get fucking people pissed. I can't fucking just off him. I just have to make his unlife miserable in this city, which I'm doing quite well.
it's Chicago. The city does it for you.
Well, all I had to do was actually spread the truth. And he's unable to do any fucking business in this city. It's so satisfying.
So you all ride over to the cabaret. And as you step inside, you all are immediately, your eyes are drawn to a woman sitting right in the center of the cabaret at a table with a woman's reading stories from a book to her.
Mm-hmm.
But you're all immediately, your eyes are drawn to the fact it's Corie sitting there getting stories read to her. And your eyes are drawn to her because of that low-level thing that just draws people's eyes to her as she's sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
Ginny's going to whisper like, I didn't do this.
And Jackie
This is just my night to be with everyone who's ever screwed me over.
and she puts a hand on Isabella's shoulder. Isabella, I'm so sorry you're having a bad night, darling.
And Corey's head slowly turns to look the group over, and she just smiles.
Jackie goes and sits at the table with her.
Well, as you go to approach the table, she leans forward to the one reading and says something that you can't hear as she gets up and stands up and starts walking towards the rest of you.
Jackie just said, are you enjoying yourself?
Of course.
Good.
This is a new thing. I haven't seen this before. Hello, Jenny.
Hey, Corie. How you doing?
And she steps real close to Jenny. I'm doing well. How are you?
I mean, I'm doing pretty good. I found out some possibly disturbing news tonight, but you know what? There's always tomorrow night.
And the next, and the next, and the next. Oh, hang on, I can't focus solely on you. Hello to the rest of you. Isabella, you look no worse for the wear. I'd tell you I'm truly sorry for what I did, but we both know that would be a lie.
Don't bother.
At least you understand. I did. I find what I needed. You have nothing more to fear from me playing with your memory.
You could have asked.
But if you were under
That's
the
fine.
influence of one of the others, you would be unable to answer that truthfully. This way I found the truth of what I needed, had time to mull over my results, study what I got, and then come to a conclusion. We are scholars in life, and like I said, I could tell you I'm sorry, but we know better. It's what it is. I don't think we need to talk out here. Is there somewhere we could talk? Hello, little brother.
Greetings, sister.
Come, and Jackie leads everyone back to the meeting room in the back.
And she walks through, and Etienne was driving tonight, so Peter has been waiting at the cabaret for your return.
Mm-hmm.
And you see her eyes flick to him. He's tasty looking.
He's mine.
Oh,
As they're walking towards the next room, Isabella will lean over to Nick and say that it's good to see how quick you moved on from your other sister.
ouch. As you're led into the room, Corie looks around. There's not enough chairs for everyone. I'll stand.
Suit yourself. And
Have any of you given any thought? Oh, wait a minute. I only made that pitch to one of you. Sorry. Or two of you, actually, little brother and Jacqueline. You don't mind if I call you Jackie, do you? Jacqueline is so
it's
formal.
fine, whatever you wish to call me.
Thank you. Any thought to my offer? I'll tell the rest of you. I am looking for assistance in, well, doing what I said that night in the library. Vengeance, mischief, mayhem, destruction. All the fun things in life. You're free to, of course, say yes or no. Won't stop me from asking again. If you say no, I will ask again. And as situations change, because I'm sure some events may happen that make you change your mind.
What sort of tasks are you planning to assign us?
I don't know yet. I haven't formulated my own plan. I know where one of the two is. I have to still locate the other. Once I find where hole he's crawled into, I will be able to make a plan to dig him out.
Well, I do know that he put a spirit that resided in the lake asleep.
Yes, he loves to play with the spirits. You would think he would have learned well enough alone after some of his previous attempts caused destruction. You might say, had he learned to leave that shit alone, I wouldn't be here speaking with you all.
Do you know what it is that resides in the lake?
A spirit?
Like a normal spirit?
Oh, no. It is not a ghost. It is something else. It is... I hesitate to call it a nature spirit. That's not quite what it is. It is a spirit. The lupine would probably have a better description of what kind of spirit it is. I believe the best description I've gotten from one of them was a corrupted totem.
Ah, I am remotely familiar with the term. Thank you. I would say, honestly, assistance depends on the task. Is that fair?
I like honesty. That is fair. Very fair.
Because putting ourselves at undue risk is not acceptable.
Well, there's a risk in everything, unfortunately.
There is, but undue risk is not necessary for us.
Well, you would have my support. It's not like I would send you. I've already assessed that you are incapable of surviving direct confrontation.
With certain individuals, yes.
Well, the ones that I would have a revenge on. Plus, since we're being honest, it would spoil my fun if I were not the ones to personally handle their demise.
But if there are underlings that need to be dealt with, we might be happy to oblige, depending on who it is.
I may need underlings dealt with, distractions made, buildings destroyed, hidey holes dug out. It's a messy business sometimes.
I don't necessarily disagree with assisting. There has been too many shenanigans going on amongst those two for too long in this city.
Yeah.
However, there will be no binding contracts.
Well, no, that would defeat the purpose of free will and willingly helping me. And I do understand that we are who we are. We are what we are. I've seen it. Even the best of allies are only allies of convenience. It's
Exactly.
the way it works.
When goals align, we work together.
Yes, and when they divulge into different paths, we go our separate
Go our
ways.
separate ways.
Yes.
Now, I do not make decisions for my companions. Do you all agree with this? If you do not, it is fine.
It is
I'm
choice.
willing to help where able.
It sounds reasonable.
Despite my misgivings about our previous experience, I do love a good revenge plot.
Oh, come on. You can't expect me to be the odd one out and say no. Like, you're talking about beating the shit out of some of these fucking shitbags in Chicago? Come on.
Well,
I'm already there.
I did get the impression from our time spent that you don't like, well, a certain toga wearer in the city.
Oh, he's not well liked at all.
That's that's putting it very nicely. So
I figured you would at least be somewhat willing to help. And I'm sure, Isabella, as we get to know each other, you will forgive my past transgressions. So few people tend to hold grudges for long with me.
I wouldn't say that too often. You'll make it a personal challenge.
Well,
And Isabella does like a challenge.
I kind of grow on people after a time.
But yes, Corie, you may call upon us for assistance, and depending on what assistance is required, we will either acquiesce and assist, or we will advise that we cannot perform what you expect.
Oh, perfect. I like that kind of a deal. And I will let you know when I need assistance, and who knows, if I'm feeling particularly generous, I might even help you out with some things.
It is appreciated. Not expected, but appreciated.
Oh, before I forget, Roscoe, your friend, you will find she is returned.
Oh, in one piece, I hope.
Mortals are so
And-
fragile. Define
and-
one piece.
She,
Well,
Jackie literally puts a hand on Roscoe's arm. Please go now. Assess the situation.
She's alive. She's not
What-
injured.
what is her mental condition after being subjected to?
Well,
The,
she's spent the last week or so with the Lady Fate, so I'd imagine she has a very interesting outlook on things at the moment.
Who is the Lady of Fate?
She's the one who reads the threads of everything, I guess you could say. She is the lady who sits in a tower at the heart of Stygia.
Mhm.
She is the ones who guided Charon, recognized him for who he was. She's an interesting individual. There's a story to her that I haven't even figured out yet, but she is interesting.
I understand that you are far removed from the human experience, as it were.
As it were. The only thing I have for the human experience now left is memories I've taken from spirits.
Is she traumatized by this experience?
All those who spend time with the Lady of Fate do not come back the same as they left. It is something about being in the presence of one who has sat since the beginning of time and manipulated events in a certain way to achieve what can only be her goals. I don't know what they are. Her and I have worked together, and she does enjoy when I send her new things to speak with. She doesn't harm them. They're not allowed to leave, of course. Having a mortal walking around Stygia would be problematic, I believe.
Harm is usually done in more ways than just physical. And she looks at Roscoe and says, please go assess, and if you need assistance, call upon us.
I will do that. Good evening, Corie.
Have fun with your friend. And you can tell to her it's nothing that this mortal may be traumatized.
Well, is there anything else you would like to discuss with us this evening?
Well, not really with everyone, though. I do find it odd that little brother could not answer about the Lady of Fate. Have we lost that much?
My instruction has been lackluster at times.
Most of your original clan, bloodline, whatever you have it, was destroyed by its own creator.
Yes, I remember that.
I'm sure much knowledge was lost.
Not just their own creator. Nobody ever listened to me when I warned them about the Giovanni, and then, of course, I was proven to be right.
I know you advised my elders.
I've advised many elders over the year. Can you be specific?
Mithras.
Yes. Like I said, how is the old boy doing?
Oh, he got himself a new body.
That's not surprising.
No.
He had an iron will that I don't think many could take over.
It tends to run in his line.
You're stubborn shits, aren't you?
We all are.
There's something to be said for that. There is a strength in that at times.
Exactly.
I do find it makes you a bit unbending and unyielding at the wrong times.
It depends on which one of us you get.
Yeah.
It truly does. I was chosen for my adaptability.
If there's one thing I've learned from the underworld, it's everything should be moldable. Even the strongest, I hesitate to say steel, even the strongest metals should be able to be formed and reformed and changed into the shape that's needed. Flexibility is important.
And that is what I was chosen for.
Ah.
Because there was a history of rigidness in the line.
Yes, he has always been rigid.
Yes.
But yes, I've advised many over the years. There was a time, if you'll believe it, where almost every court had one of our kind, one of the Cappadocians,
Indeed.
as advisor. It's a shame. I think had that particular practice continued, there would be a better situation now. But what can we do?
I have to agree with you. But much has been lost over the eons.
Yes, that is one of the problems. That's why I was wondering about little brother's instruction. You see, it's one of the things that was important to pass on the knowledge, spread the knowledge out. It's the best way for not just knowledge retention, but to learn more. The more that know it, the more that can look at the problem and find the solutions, that kind of thing. And if your sire has been lax, you should probably do something about that. If you wish, I could. By the silence and the look, I guess, did I say something wrong?
No, it's just that since your time, my instruction was more focused on correcting the Giovanni problem.
You should have destroyed him in the beginning. It would have been easier that way.
Agreed, it is much more difficult to exterminate the pests once they've taken root.
Yeah, I know the covenant of Cain says we do not, thou shalt not destroy thine elder. But if you want, you can absolve yourself of that particular crime. He is not my elder. I could punish him for not teaching you correctly. Think of it as a gift, little brother, if you so desire. I do find myself hungry some nights.
I merely wish to correct what should have been corrected. Perhaps if you find yourself willing, instruction would be welcomed.
I do find myself from time to time wanting to take on someone to teach lessons and teach the way things work too. And as she says it, her eyes drift over to Jenny. I could be crazy.
Oh, girl, what I taught you, you cannot teach Nicholas.
Yeah. Perhaps, little brother, then I shall bring you something that was lost.
I would consider it an honor.
Speaking of what you taught me, Jenny, I owe you something. I owe, well, to return the favor. You took me flying one night. I feel it's only fair if I take you flying.
Oh, yeah. See the, what was it? You said the cloudless sky with the
cloudless sign. The cloudless sky that glows with the light of moonlight, even when the moon doesn't shine. Yes. To be caught in the storm of emotion and ride the winds.
You know what? I feel like that's probably a fair trade. I mean, mine sounds like what I did was a parlor trick in comparison. So,
and she holds out her hand to you.
Well, Jenny gets up and she just kind of does like the see y'all on the other side. She just puts her hand in her hand.
Jackie just does it.
And Corie just smiles. And when Jenny gets close, she puts her arm around her waist. You got to be close to come with me, unless you want to go see the lady. And that is not our visit tonight. And you see the opening appear in the shroud, and you all can hear the winds blowing, but it's not a wind of, it's like the maelstrom. It's a wind of emotion and shifting, sometimes sand, glass. It's such an odd sensation to see on the other side as her and Jenny step through. And Jenny is shown how to fly on the winds of the maelstrom through Chicago. Now we flash to the rest of the coterie as you're still standing there with Jenny gone, Roscoe gone.
as soon as like that whole thing happens with her opening the shroud, like the lessons that Nicholas had learned, like there were distinctly more dead bodies involved. So to see this like up close, to see her do it so easily with so not that, it's fascinating to him. So like the entire time that she's like opening the shroud, and Nicholas is just watching, like probably the most like wide-eyed, like a child, probably most of the coterie would have ever seen him. Yeah, up until she disappears, up until like it closes, and yeah.
And it closes, leaving the three of y'all remaining there as Jenny has done something very few kindred get to do, gone to the other side.
I can't say I've said this sentence more than once in my life, but I'm actually sort of jealous of Jenny.
I just have to laugh so my mind doesn't break at all this bullshit.
We do come with a lot of bullshit.
Some more than others.
All right, well, excuse me, you all. I need to make a phone call to my police contact to find someone to go paint shit with blood.
On my way out, can I speak with you, Jackie?
Absolutely. Feel free to enjoy yourselves in the cabaret if you wish.
I can see I'm not wanted here anymore. Have a good evening, Jackie, Ants.
Take care.
And she'll walk out.
Okay. And Jackie and Nicholas are remaining.
Well, we might as well talk now before I go make my phone call.
Remember some time ago we had a discussion about my ancestor.
Yes.
It seems she is linked to him, but it's difficult to find where exactly, other than
He is descended from her.
Ithris. That would be my guess, but he can trace himself all the way back to the founder, and she's not there.
It is likely she was embraced by one who had the moniker at the time of Hades. That is how the myth goes. But it's not to say that is his original name. Clan Cappadocian was not native to Greece. They came from the Cappadocian Mountains.
That much my instruction has not failed me.
I am familiar because Cappadocians have been tied to my line for a long time. I had to learn these things. Know those you keep close, because one day they might turn into your enemies.
Yes, my sire has been obsessed with wiping out the last remnants of Giovanni holdings where applicable, and it has seemingly interfered.
It is also possible she calls you little brother. It may not be. She might call you grandchild if you were actually of her line. You see what I'm saying?
Then
Perhaps she was a
is
broodmate of the one that spawned your line.
fascinating. That would certainly track.
Exactly. Because whomever this one called Hades in Greece was, who's to say she was the first or even the last? that he embraced.
It didn't seem important to bring up to everyone,
No, it is
considering
very
you and I
personal.
have had
Yeah, it is very personal for you, and I have personal dealings with one of your ancestors. So, I understand.
and also assuming the rumors of my ancestors' relations with your
With Mithras.
yes.
Yes, it is not a romance. It is a long-term partnership, as it were. I dare say, friendship between the two. That is always the vibe I got between them. They were very dedicated to each other. But it was not lovers. Not even remotely. I could tell that. But it was beyond that. True trust in each other. And, I mean, Raja now has his own princedom. He rules Edinburgh. But for a long, long time, he was advisor to Mithras. And at least not long after he was fully educated. Raja, that is. My ancestors saw his potential. That is another thing that is part of our line. We are very exclusive in who we embrace. We do not have broods such as Loden spawned. We
Never so
Go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
We don't choose multiple children. We get it right first or second time. My sire, it was second time. There was one other than me. But my understanding is that one fell in London.
Never have I felt so I think Corie was correct that we have fallen so far.
From what
It used to
you
be
used to
we
be
advisors, and here I am
advisors to kings.
constantly being advised by you.
Exactly. Your bloodline, as it is recognized now, used to be full clan in its own right. That was
Now
stolen.
we're just
And now you're
part
just
of-
part of a whole conglomerate of those who speak to the dead.
to be fair, there's only one withering branch of that tree that is distasteful to me, but
I
that
understand.
may be part of my
But that is part of your upbringing. Yes. Now, I'm not going to begrudge you at all for hating on Giovanni. They are fucking shit. Incestuous fucking bastards, the whole lot of them.
Agreed.
And I don't trust a single fucking one of them, not as far as I could fucking throw them. But that is because my line has always thrown its lot in with Cappadocia. We know they are good advisors. And if we can earn their trust, good friends.
My apologies for betraying that trust. It was not my intention, but I understand words are easier than actions.
Actions always speak louder, Nicholas. Words are easy and cheap. I produce them all the time for nothing.
Well, it'll take up no more of your time. You were clearly busy. I
But thank you for sharing that information with me. Hopefully it gives you a little insight, and I do recommend you get some education from her. But be careful that it doesn't move you even farther from your connection to humanity. I am concerned.
understood.
It is well and fine to be obsessed with the dead. But if you lose place of that they were once living, that is a problem.
Thank you for the counsel.
Of course. Have a good evening.
You as well. And Nicholas will leave.
As Nicholas leaves and Jackie goes to call her police officer. Roscoe, you arrive at your shop to find Samantha sitting in the floor. Her clothes are a lot more faded than they were when you saw her. The color's been drained from them in some ways. It looks like they've been left out for a long period of time, some reason. And she's holding something that you see. Her head doesn't even lift up when you come into your shop, but she's got something in her hand that you can't quite make out from the door. You're muted, though.
I approach her immediately as soon as I see her coming in the shop.
She's holding a mask of some kind.
Hmm.
You don't know what it's made of, but it's definitely a mask. But it's a mask. You can see it's based off her face, but it's not quite. The mask has subtle differences that make it look almost alien. Not alien as in, UFO, but just inhuman. And that's all she's doing is holding it. She doesn't make a noise. Her eyes are not blinking. She's catatonic holding this mask.
Okay. I look closely in her eyes. Do I see anything?
There's no flicker in them at all right
Okay.
now. Just blank stare. She's alive.
Samantha, you're back. Although, how are you? Where have you been? Where did she send you?
Her hands grip the mask a little tighter. And that's it.
And what color is the mask?
It is hard to describe. It's white, you think, but not quite white. It almost shimmers at times like it's, pearlescent, but not quite.
Does it remind me of the piece of chain that I had held for a bit that then disappeared when I
No.
went back to the spirit world?
No, there's something else about it.
No, what did you bring back? What is this?
And she just holds it. No answer, no movement other than gripping it tighter.
May I see it?
She doesn't let it go.
Samantha, Sam, you seem to be physically okay. But you are surprisingly untalkative. What have you seen?
She just grips the mask even tighter. Hard enough her fingers are turning white from the sheer grip she has on it right now.
Careful, darling. You're going to break that. Whatever it is.
No reaction.
None at all.
None.
I'll go to put my hand on her shoulder just to how are you doing?
Mhm.
Does she react when I touch her?
Not at all. Her hands loosen up a little on the mask. That's it.
And what is what does she feel like? I mean, I don't know if she's wearing something open shouldered at the time, but
I'm sure her shoulders were bare. Her skin is slightly cool to the touch. Just slightly.
but within human norm.
Yes.
Darling, do you want to go out and get something to eat? Do you want to go home and rest?
Nothing.
And I'm like, darling, where have you been? And while I'm still touching her shoulder, I will use Spirit's touch.
On her or the mask?
I'm not touching the mask. I'm only touching her.
Okay. You're going to roll Spirit's touch. Okay. You are going to roll intelligence all specs and get your power bonus, of course.
And I will cover that.
Six. As you delve back and reach through her, you can feel she's in there somewhere. All her emotions and her is tied up in there. But she's looking inward at a hollow spot in her. And the hollow spot in her mind is shaped like that mask, like she's missing something that was part of her that's now been taken from her. And it's in that mask. That mask is the representation of it. And you got 6. Given what you've been through in your own life, you realize what's missing.
The avatar?
The avatar is gone. And this is where we end Season 10, Episode 5 of Windy City After Dark. With that soul-crushing revelation, I would like to thank my players and the viewers. Wow. Yeah, I'm kind of speechless at that revelation there. Please, I'm trying to speed up our outro, of course. No more XP. Everybody gets 3. We've quit doing the voting. Y'all always do 3. Please, everyone, Discord. It's where we cast the show. It's where we talk about the shows. We do hangouts when we can. All that good shit. Catch our back episodes. Go to YouTube. YouTube. Back episodes. Friends. We got friends. The Ivy Raven, Mischievous Red. By the way, the look on Rylan's face when I said that the avatar was gone, yeah. Ruh-roh.
Fucking trauma from a Ravnos Archon game. Okay.
Windy City merch. Catch the merch. Get the merch. Bits and donations that go to the players, not the studio. Give something to the players for this roller coaster. This is a rough season, up and down for everybody. Good times, bad times, rough shit. Let's see. Want to support Studio KoFi? Subscribe here on Twitch, on YouTube. Give us a follow on YouTube or subscribe on YouTube. Like the video, comment on it. All those things push up our engagement. Hit the little bell note so you get notified when I post new shit, because I try to post episodes all the time. I think I covered all the shit. Yes, I did. Now my wife can give the schedule.
I'm seriously trying not to cry, y'all. I'm really trying not to cry.
I almost did too, don't worry.
Because as someone who has played mage and has had an avatar ripped from a mage character, that's just painful, y'all. Fuck you, Shanky. I know she's a stalker, but goddamn, nobody deserves that.
Certainly not the mage who lost his powers when he was embraced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, give the schedule, Mama.
All right. So coming up over the next week, on Saturday, we have no stream because just taking a much needed break. God damn, after this season, I'm going to need a much needed break too. So I'm just letting you know, there's nothing coming Saturday. But before that, on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, we have Scion, Zero to Hero. And we've just had our visitations with our divine parents. A lot of deadbeat fucking parents going on. But you
Daddy issues, mama issues, kid issues, there's issues.
It's just issues everywhere. So needless to say, join us as we pick up from where we left off, where we had just basically had like the greatest meal ever at this diner that gives you basically whatever you want, probably another Scion running this shit. And then went back to the bar to find out that a healer Scion healed the guy that was basically the bouncer, and then two strong guys that were Scions were busy arm wrestling and then ran like little chicken shits. So yeah, it's great. It's great. And the leprechaun is gay. So unfortunately, Corie can't get her freaky leprechaun sex going on. But
Scion is a wild ride of fun, not gonna lie.
It's a wild ride being the child of a divine parent. I'm just saying. So join us at 8 p.m. Eastern as we pick up from there. And of course, we'll be back here on Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern with the next session of Windy City After Dark. And Jesus Christ, after this, I'm just like, I don't know. I think I need a blanket and like some
Roscoe's going to be as catatonic as she is.
I need a warm drink and a blanket and somebody to snuggle me.
You're going to find Roscoe and Samantha sitting there on the floor crying.
Thank God I was drinking this episode. That's all I'm going to say.
And as always, everybody, as we end this episode, mental health, not a joke, not a laughing matter. Please take mental health seriously. Check in on those around you. Make sure they're okay, because a lot of people aren't. And if you do suffer from mental health issues, like many of us do, first, it's okay to not be okay, because mental health is health. There's nothing wrong to admit it. Never feel ashamed to admit that you have troubles dealing with things. And if you don't feel you can reach out to those around you, in chat is a list of numbers you can call or text 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There'll be a professional on the other end of the line that'll help you out. And of course, if you're not in the U.S., find a helpline. Go there, put in your country, find out what the help support system is in your country. We're trying to make our outro a little faster because they were long there. So there it is, the abridged version. Now I turn it over to my wife.
All right. So y'all know mind and body go together. So get your fucking vaccines. Get your fucking preventative screenings done, because early detection saves lives when it comes to cancer, y'all. Seriously. And also, if you don't feel well, get your fucking checkups, because you need to take care of your body just as much as you need to take care of your mind. And trans lives are human rights. Reproductive health is a human right. The ability to read the books we want to read and post on the social medias we want to post here in America is a part of our First Amendment rights. And people who are so damn adamant about protecting their Second Amendment rights don't give a rat's ass about the First Amendment. First and foremost amendment. They don't give a rat's ass. So please register to vote if you are not registered, and plan to vote Democrat next election in 2024. Please, we have Gen X, we have Xennials, we have Millennials, we have Gen Z, all coming of age or already of age. Turn up to muster, get out and vote in 2024. We need to put the death blow on the GOP. Said with love.
And fuck Putin.
Oh, yeah, fuck all the fascists.
Yeah, we still got to say fuck
all of them worldwide. But, you know, Ron DeSantis is seriously fucking Hitler made over. And
with less personality, which is frightening.
I think he's...
Somebody said he has the personality of a wet cardboard box.
Okay, that's funny, because even Hitler had more of a personality than that.
Wet cardboard box. But that's pretty sad.
That's not fair to cardboard boxes.
It's not.
Okay, that might be true.
It's really an insult to cardboard boxes. But yeah, so seriously, fuck them all, but just be fucking kind, y'all.
Yep.
Care about others for once, please.
And I do thank you all for coming. We'll see you next week to see where this goes. This is another. I think there's some dark shit in this season coming. Good night, everybody.